Good morning, friends. Today we're going to be using different types of money to solve word problems, and this is important because we use it all the time in our everyday lives. So, going to the grocery store, sometimes if you have a lemonade stand, someone will give you money and you have to give them coins back and give them change. So, this lesson will apply to situations like that. So, I'm going to do a quick review of currency. Can someone tell me what currency means? Yes.
Means money.
Yes. So currency is coins or money. It's just a different word, a more fancy word for money. I'm going to tap one of the coins or pieces of currency, and in your proudest voice, you're going to tell me which one it is.
A penny.
How much is a penny worth?
One.
One. Good.
Nickel.
Good. Do you know how much a nickel is worth?
5.
5. Okay, turn to your neighbor and talk about how much a penny and a nickel are worth.
Penny is worth 1.
Penny is 1.
And nickel is 5.
Cents.
Yes. Good job. Good. Okay, we're going to move on to the next two. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Dime.
Can someone who didn't answer tell me how much a dime is worth? Yes.
10.
Good.
Quarter.
Quarter. And a quarter's worth
25
25 what?
cents.
Good. There we go. And what's this?
Dollar.
A dollar.
20.
Good. Do you know how many cents is in a dollar? Yes.
100.
Good. 100. So you could have 100 pennies, and it would equal $1. And $1, the $1 bill isn't the only dollar that we have. Does anybody else know what kinds of dollars there are?
100.
100. Yes, that's the best kind, isn't it?
Yes.
What else?
5.
5,
10.
10. Good. And sometimes
Golden
there's
dollars.
even there are golden dollars. You're right. Sometimes there's even $2 bills, but those are really rare. Now we're going to go over some symbols that will help you when we're doing our word problems. What is this first symbol?
Money.
Dollar.
Dollar. So what do you think we use this symbol for?
Dollar. Dollar bills.
Dollar bills. Yes. And what about this symbol? Yes. So that's the cent symbol. And when we have money that is less than 100 cents, we'll use the cent sign. But when we have currency that's more than 100 cents, we'll use the dollar sign. So if I had 101 pennies, which sign would I use?
Dollar.
Yes, why?
There's over 100.
Good, exactly. So now we're going to do a few word problems, and then after we do a few as a class, we're going to go into groups and do some group work and then some individual work. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Perfect. So our first word problem is Joe has 7 nickels and 6 pennies. Does he have enough money to buy a bouncy ball that costs 50 cents? So I'm going to take you through a few steps. We're going to learn how to work out this word problem. So if everybody would turn their focus to the whiteboard. The first thing we're going to do is figure out if this is an addition or a subtraction problem. And some keywords that might help us in the future are more than, less than, fewer, things like that, or and. Can anybody tell me what more means?
There's more.
Yes. Good. So you have more of something or a larger number of something. Can someone tell me what less means?
Fewer.
Yes. So there's littler amount of something. So when we do word problems, those words or phrases often pop up and help us know if it's going to be addition or subtraction. So in this problem, we have the word and. What do you guys think that's going to be? Addition or subtraction?
Addition.
Good. Why?
Because if you have both of them, then you need to put them together.
Good. Exactly. One more thing we have to think about before we start this problem is the word sum or equals. Do you guys know what that means?
No.
No. So the sum is when you have both parts of the word problem. So in this case, we would have 7 nickels and 6 pennies. And the word sum is when you put them together. So sum is the same word as equals. Turn to your neighbor and talk about what sum means.
The sum is everything put
All
together.
Good. All right. So I think we're ready to start our word problem. So the first step is figuring out if it's addition or subtraction. And what did we talk about a few seconds ago about if this was an addition or subtraction problem?
Addition.
Yes, because of the word.
And.
Good. So we know that it's an addition problem. The second step is we're going to draw out each type of coin and how many there are. So we're going to use, just in this case, we're going to color code to make it easier for you guys to understand. But we have 7 nickels. So I'm going to draw 7 circles.
Thank you.
And we're going to put a 5 in the middle of each so that we remember that a nickel is worth 5. And we also have 6 pennies. So we're going to make another 6 circles. 6 more circles. And draw 1 in the middle of each of those circles to remind us that those are our pennies. So now that we have the pennies and the nickels drawn out, we are going to add up the value of the coins. So the sum, or the amount that it equals, is what we're going to figure out now. So everybody help me count. When I point to the number, or when I point to the coin, we're going to count by 5s. Ready?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
So these 7 nickels equals 35 cents. So we're going to add these 6 pennies to the 35 cents. So it will be 36,
37, 38, 39, 40, 41.
So we have the plus because it's an addition, right? It's an addition word problem. And we have the equal sign because that's the sum of the word problem. And how much did we say these 7 nickels and 6 pennies added up to be?
41 cents.
41. And our next step is figuring out if we need to use the dollar sign or the cent sign. What do you guys think?
It's under 100.
Yes, so what sign would we
Cents.
use? Good, exactly. So we use the cent sign. Now the 5th step is figuring out if we have enough money to answer the question that it is asking. So do we have more than 50 cents? No. So can Joe buy his bouncy ball?
Not yet.
No. So that's sad. But maybe in another word problem we'll find one where he can. Alright, so we'll do one more problem together and then we are going to turn into small groups. So our next problem is Sally has 3 dimes, 5 nickels, and 2 pennies in her pocket. How much money does she have? Dylan, will you come up to the board and draw the 3 dimes for the class? What do we put in the middle?
10.
Yes, because a dime is worth 10. Exactly. And class, is this problem an addition or subtraction problem?
Addition.
Addition. Good. Alright, Dylan, pick a friend to come draw the nickels. And what are we going to put in between the dimes and the nickels?
Plus sign.
Exactly. Good job. In class, what do we put in the middle of the circle? Good. Okay, now Blake, you pick a friend to come draw the pennies.
Laura.
Okay, Laura. What do we put after the nickels?
Plus.
Yes, exactly. What do we put in the middle?
1.
Yes, exactly. And what goes after the pennies, Laura? Yes. And what is that also called? Yes. Good job. Okay, Sam, do you want to go up there and help the class count? So when she points to it, follow along. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55,
56,
57. So do you want to write the sum after the equal sign? And can somebody tell me if we're using the cent sign or the dollar sign?
Cents.
Cents, why?
Less than 100.
Good, exactly. So you draw the cent sign for the class? Perfect. Okay, now we're going to do one more problem with dollar bills, and then we're going to go into individual and group work. So what does a dollar bill equal?
100 cents.
100 cents. So once we have dollar bills, what sign are we going to use? Dollar sign, exactly. So we have $2 bills, and we make them a square because they're dollars. Good. Okay. And then we have 1 quarter. Can someone remind me how much a quarter is worth?
25.
Exactly. And then we have 2 pennies. Alright, when I tap it, you count.
1,
2,
plus.
Okay, so we have $2, correct? And then if we add 25 cents, we'd have $2 and
25 cents. 26 cents. 27.
okay, so what is the sum of this word problem?
27 cents.
Exactly. And what sign would we use again?
Dollar.
Good, because it's over 100 cents. Good work on the board, boys and girls. We are now going to move into individual and group tasks. So once I say ready, set, go, you're going to move back to your desk, and I'm going to give you a worksheet, and you're going to work with your group using the fake money to figure out the word problems, and you're only going to do the first 2. So the first 2 are with your group, and the next 2 are going to be by yourself. Can somebody repeat to the class the directions of the next task?
Counting money.
Yes, but what are we going to do after I say ready, set, go?
Go to our seats.
Yes,
Fake money.
I'll give you the fake money. And what are we going to do on the worksheet?
First 2 problems.
Yes, with your group. And once you're done with one problem, raise your hand, and I'll come ask you a few questions and make sure it's right. Everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay, ready, set, go. First thing you do is write your name at the top. And don't get started until everybody in your group has their money. So something that we didn't do when we were going in front of the whole class is using the fake money. But since we have a table and a place to use it now, we can use the fake money to help us count and remember instead of drawing if we'd like. But since we just started, I'd like you to draw it on your paper and use the fake money to help you out. Okay, ready, set, go. Get started with your group on the first 2 problems.
Okay. Let's see here. You gotta find the dime. 4 dimes. Oh, you already got dimes.
Yeah.
Is
Don't
this my
forget
dime or
the
your
5
dime?
steps. They're on the board if you need reminded.
4 pennies. Here's 4 pennies. So we got dimes.
Morgan and Laura are doing a great job of showing their work and writing the amount of money inside the circles. Good job, girls. Do you guys like using the fake money better or drawing the circles better?
Fake money.
Fake money, why?
Because then I can, because it's kind of like real money. And you can count it.
Yeah, you can. It's easier to show or tell the difference, isn't it, too?
Yeah.
Keep up the great work.
Okay. We gotta add these Sam. So it's 40
Exactly. Good
plus
work.
20 plus 4.
Blake, how do you know that this is an addition problem?
Because it has the word and.
Good. Good work.
No, don't.
Don't forget your center. And now we got a new one. We need 3/4.
3/4.
Here's a nickel.
Are you guys finished with the first problem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what answer did you get?
64 cents.
And why did you use the cent sign?
Because it's less than 100.
Good. Good work. You can move on to the next problem.
$3.
One cup of lemonade is
Okay, what did you guys get for the first problem this group?
64
cents.
cents.
Okay.
And how do we know that we use the cent sign and not the dollar sign?
Less than 100.
Good work. Keep it up. You can move on to the next problem. Don't hear a lot of talking with your partners. What can we do to be more interactive?
Plus a nickel.
Hey,
Can't
And
forget
Euro
one.
3 cents.
Yeah. Oh my
Three
god.
pennies.
Do you like using
25, 25, 25, 75 plus 30. 105 plus 5.
Plus
110.
25.
113.
75.
Huh?
95, 95.
Keep working, class. You're doing a great job.
What is the
So
yes?
we
Oh,
want
It's $1.
we got to circle yes under there because he has enough because it's only a dollar.
Work, Dylan, for noticing.
We're done. We're done.
She has.
All right, wrap up the next 10 seconds. Put your final answers. Put your pencils down. Eyes on me when you're ready to go. All right. What did you get for the first answer, this group?
64 cents.
Did you guys get 64 cents too?
Yes.
Perfect. And why do we use the cent symbol?
Less than
Less than
100.
Exactly. What did you guys get for the second question?
$1.13.
Did you guys get the same answer?
Yes.
Exactly. So why do we use the dollar sign, Morgan?
Because it's over 100.
Exactly. And I heard you guys saying 110, 113. So that's exactly the way to do it. Good job. Keep up the great work. Now I'm going to give you the next 3 minutes to work on the bottom 2 problems by yourself. So no talking. Use the coins if you need it. If you have questions, you can ask me. Also make sure you're referring to the steps on the board. Ready, set, go. when you're done with your 2 problems, please put the money back in your bag, along with the dollar bills, and bring them up front to me, please. No, you can keep the dollar bills separate. All right, 30 seconds.
Thank you.
15 seconds. Cleaning up. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. What did you guys get as your answer for the third question?
70.
70 cents. And do we use the cent sign?
Yes.
Exactly, because it's less than 100. For the last question, Dylan, will you please explain to me how you found your answer?
I drew all the money
Mm-hmm.
and then I added it together.
And what answer did you get?
$1.61.
Good. Okay, good. And do you use the dollar sign or the cent sign? Good. All right, so if everybody could put your name on your paper and put it in the middle of the table, I'll collect it when we're done. This next activity, I'm going to give you a piece of paper with a box and some lines on it, and you're going to make your own word problem. You'll have 3 minutes to do this, and then trade with a partner. So remember the 5 steps when you trade with your partner and you're working on their problem. Remember to figure out if it's addition, and then draw out all the money and go through the 5 steps that you really solidify those steps. So that when we move on to more complex problems, you're able to refer back to them. So I'll give you 3 minutes to work on writing your own word problem, not drawing it.
Oh no. Can I have a paper?
Do we have to write out the numbers or can we just put 5?
You can just put 5. It can be a yes or no question, or it can just be a closed-ended question. Does the question need
Do we have to put the answer?
No, because you trade with a partner and they will figure out the answer. Put your hands on your head when you're ready. Take your time if you're still working, no rush. Okay, I want you to give your paper to someone else. Just trade it. Yep. And you'll have a minute to answer their problem. So make sure you go through the 5 steps. Ready, set, go. Good.
Well, you have 13 pennies.
Okay, once you're done, talk to the person who had your problem and ask them if that is the correct answer.
Is 69 right? Okay.
$1.58.
Is it?
I believe so.
Oh
Okay.
no, I forgot.
That's enough
for us all. I don't even know.
Yeah,
Good job.
Okay, when you're done, put your paper again in another stack in the middle of the table and I'll pick it up after. Now that each of you has gone through a few word problems, we're just going to review the 5 steps really quickly and then we will head out to recess. So, Morgan, will you please tell me what the first step is?
Figure out if it's addition or subtraction.
Exactly. Laura, what's the next step?
Draw the sentence.
Yes, and what do we do when we draw them? Yes, what do we draw in the middle of the sentence?
Plus.
Yes, and then what do we put in the middle of the circles?
Value.
The value, exactly. Blake, what's the third step?
Well, after you put the value, then you add them up.
Yes. And Dylan, what's the fourth step?
What?
What's the fourth step?
Well, if it's do they have enough money, you decide if they have enough money or not, or if it's more. Or
Okay,
less.
what's the fourth step, Sam?
Decide if you need the dollar sign or the cent sign.
Exactly. Dylan, what's the fifth step?
Find out if they have enough.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Good work today, friends. And tomorrow we're going to work on subtraction. So you can get lined up for recess.
Spending.
Right.